Cześć, welcome to the channel. My name's Rob, and in today's video, we're going to look at how Poland accidentally invaded the Czech Republic. But I'm pretty sure they actually like to be called Czechia now. So yeah, let's see how they did it.
Hey there, kiddos. I need to talk to you about something. It might be a little awkward, but it's important for you to understand. When two countries love each other very much, or sometimes hate each other very much, one of the countries will invade the other one. And it's perfectly natural, and it's okay, and it can be great, just so long as they plan for it, because the thing is, if you're not careful, sometimes invasions can happen by accident.
I know they're making a joke out of the birds and the bees talk, but it's sometimes not okay to invade other countries, just as a quick point to make right there and then. Don't invade other countries. Just be happy. Just be friendly neighbours. I also think there may be some Americanisms in here. Just a word of warning.
Or at least, that's what happened in May of 2020 when Poland accidentally invaded the Czech Republic. This is Poland. It's called that because it's the land of Po, the red Teletubby who wanders through the country at night, kidnapping babies and turning them into the sun. And this is... Wait, what is this? I know it's a republic, but which one?
It's called Czechia now, apparently.
Oh, it's the Czech Republic. Good thing I checked. Now, both the Czech Republic and Poland are part of the Schengen area, a set of 26 countries in which you can travel freely without border control or passports. Think of it like Disneyland. Once you get into the park, you can go to any part of it you want.
That's so depressing, because obviously being from the United Kingdom, we had that. And now, so technically, at the moment, we can still do it. But I think there's a cutoff point where we won't be able to travel around Europe freely. But how good is that? Being able to travel wherever you want, not have to do a visa or anything like that. Let's see what it has to say.
Fantasyland, Tomorrowland, Adventureland, Monetizing Nostalgia Land, Cash Grab Sequel Land, Corporate Consolidation Land, Ruining Star Wars Land, and Toontown. Who doesn't love Toontown? It's a town full of toons. The point is, anybody can cross from Poland to the Czech Republic, or the other way around, anytime, anywhere, no questions asked. At least, that's how things are normally, but things aren't normally at all right now. I don't know if you've heard, but there's some virus going around called something like the coronavirus.
We now know the age of this video.
No, that's not
about 3 years.
Wear a mask, you selfish morons virus. Yeah, that last one sounds right. Anyway, because of that, countries have started to act on a provision of the Schengen Borders Code that allows member countries to temporarily close their borders, quote, in the event that a serious threat to public policy or internal security had been established.
Makes sense.
Now, I'm not sure how it's going to help to close their borders. I mean, Borders went bankrupt in 2011, and to my knowledge, all the stores are already closed. They probably should have shut the Barnes & Nobles, but the point is that they can. A border closing can be enacted.
All I would like to say is don't make American references when you're talking about a country in Europe. But it does make sense, right? That you would, during the pandemic, you would close your borders just to try and slow down a little bit of spread, right? That makes complete sense. And so where you've got Europe that allows for free movement, there has to be a point where you say, I'm sorry, just hold on a little bit and just stay in your own country just for a little bit.
Acted by an individual nation and cannot be vetoed by the European Commission, though the Commission does have the ability to issue an opinion on it, which does nothing, but people always feel better when they get to voice their opinion, even if it won't change anything. Speaking of which, leave a comment down below with your opinion on an Israel-Palestine two-state solution. Since COVID hit,
I know I'm watching this. This video was from 3 years ago, right? And now, as of what is the date today? Wednesday, the 18th of October, that Israel-Palestine, that is quite, prominent right now, right? Because it is all kicking off down in the Middle East. I think, is it the Middle East? Anyway, in Israel, Palestine, Gaza Strip and all that with the Hamas and all that. So I'm not going to get into that. You can give me your opinions. I probably won't reply to that one though, because I do not want to open a can of worms that I don't really understand myself.
A lot of EU nations have exercised their authority to close borders, including Poland and the Czech Republic. This meant Poland had to start doing something they haven't historically been very good at: protecting their borders from invasion.
Oh,
So
no.
they stationed soldiers at the border, including here in Pierzymov, a Polish border town, but there's where the problem came. Every building in Pierzymov is in Poland except for this church, which is in the Czech Republic, and also this house, for whatever reason. But the Polish soldiers were apparently too busy doing whatever Polish people do, pole dancing, polishing, Pilates, who knows, to realize that, so soldiers had stationed themselves at the church thinking it was the furthest point of the border in Poland. When Czech people came to their church in the Czech Republic, the Polish soldiers stopped them and they were like, "Hey, you can't come in here, this is Poland." Then the Czech people were like, "No, it's not." And then the Polish people were like, "Yeah, it is, and also by the way, get out of here." Which meant that the Polish military was blocking citizens of the Czech Republic from entering a part of the Czech Republic, and when that happens, it's usually called an invasion, and it's what political scientists refer to as kind of a big deal. Eventually, word got back to the Czech Republic that they had been invaded, and so they went to the Poles and were like, "Hey, did you invade us?" And the Polish people were like,
No.
"I don't think so, but let me check." And then they checked, and the Czechs showed that they'd invaded the Czechs, basically putting them into a diplomatic checkmate. Ultimately, though, things turned out fine. The Poles said it was an accident, the Czechs believed them, and after a bunch of fancy official statements smoothing the whole thing out, things went back to as normal as things can be in 2020.
To be fair, at least it ended amicably. That is a complete accident, right? The fact that the Polish village is basically in Poland, but the church that is also in that village is not in Poland. And obviously, Poles are going to go to their church, right? We know how religious a lot of Poles are. So they're going to keep, what an absolute cock up. And at the end of the day, it probably meant nothing in the grand scheme of things. Like there was no real negative effects really on health, for example. So what a complete cock up. But this makes you wonder, who the hell created the borders of countries? How, like, at least the UK or England, well, no, let's just round it out to the UK. At least it's fairly simple because we're an island. But if you're not an island, how? I've never known that. How do borders get created? And those, they're always like zigzag lines and things, aren't they?
Believe it or not, this wasn't the first time a country has accidentally invaded another country. Back in 2010, a Nicaraguan official noticed a Costa Rican flag flying over here across the San Juan River in the Isla Potillos, which made him very angry. Not only because the Costa Rican flag has an insignia with writing in the middle of it, which is a terrible flag design, but also because he was pretty sure that that land belonged to Nicaragua. Just to be certain, he opened up Google Maps to check, and sure enough, the Costa Rican flag was in Nicaragua, and so he and 50 of his troops crossed the river, took down the flag, and stationed themselves there. Now, normally when Google Maps is wrong, it means I arrive late to my meeting of YouTubers who secretly fix the price of interesting factoids. No big deal, I'm just late. But for the Nicaraguans, Google Maps' mistake meant that they had just invaded Costa Rica by accident. Ultimately, to avoid war, both Google and the Nicaraguan government had to issue an apology, and the mistakes of big tech companies went on to never stoke global conflict ever again.
Well, there you go. A little one for you today, a very small little one where basically during COVID, when they had to close the borders between Poland and Czech Republic, Poles went to their church, which just so happened to actually not be in Poland, and therefore they invaded them because they weren't meant to cross the border, they weren't allowed. Then the armed forces or police or whatever got involved. Did you know that? Did you know that that happened in Poland / it didn't happen in Poland. Technically, it happened in Czech Republic. Did you know that happened? But that's one of these stories that it possibly sounds worse before you actually read about it, right? If the headline, Poland invades Czech Republic, sounds dreadful, right? Like there's a war about to start. Really, it was villagers went to church across the border, even though they weren't meant to, which sounds a little less dramatic, right? But I love finding out about these silly little stories because they are silly little stories. They don't really mean anything. What is a border? Do you know what I mean? Who put that border there? It's an invisible line. It's madness. But if you've got any more silly stories like this, please do let me know. We've had ones like the cat. I can't remember the cat's name now, that is basically famous in Poland. We've had the Wrocław dwarves, which I actually went and saw. So please let me know if you've got any more suggestions. All I ask is, preferably less annoying Americans. But if it's in Polish, please, they need to have subtitles. They need subtitles because my Polish still isn't that good. I can sort of read it, but I don't know what I'm saying other than a few words. So yeah, please, any recommendations, make sure they got subtitles or they're in English already. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe. That is the best way to support my channel. And I'll catch you next time. Papa. And I love saying papa. It's just basically bye-bye.